Anime Dark Souls? That's the tagline everybody really gave this game? Hey bro, you gonna play Code Vein? That Anime Dark Souls game? Why was everyone excited for a Souls-like with an anime coat of paint? Like that was gonna make the game magically just as good as the series the game is based off. I've been on a streak of games I don't enjoy, like, don't get me wrong. This game, I don't like it. That's it, I don't like it. I mean, I dig it, but you know, we vibe, but you know, it's cute or whatever. It got a shoe game, to be honest, but Code Vein, it's developed by Bandai Namco, the same people that published Dark Souls. I don't know either. I guess From Software was busy doing their own thing, and Bandai said,
he doesn't want to.
Dude, fucking tell him.
I already fucking told him.
Well, tell him again.
Code Vein, I said it's a Soulsborne game. So before we get started on anything else, let's talk about this story, because I'm not going to spoil anything, so you don't have to worry about that or anything. Mostly because the plot is very generic Jrpg scenarios. I liken this game's stories to Tokyo Ghoul on crack. Seriously, the Revenants can't taste anything but humans, have superhuman abilities, regenerate freakishly fast, love coffee. They even summon tails to attack and kill each other. Like, is this not familiar to anyone? Did no one at Bandai Namco watch the worst adaptation of the last decade? Your player character wakes up with big titty waifu and amnesia, and of course, as you find another Revenant, Lewis, and his ragtag group of teenage badasses with a token old black guy on a quest to find a way to escape the Red Mist, keeping all the Revenants inside the city, and of course, for all humans and Revenants to coexist, something that's never really pursued after the middle half of the game. Of course, there's twists and changes of the general objective and such, but these are all really just excuses for you to fight really cool bosses, and that's it. Code Vein, on the other hand, unlike the Souls games it's based off of, really wants you to give a damn about this world and story, not letting you get the true ending of the game unless you purify the memories of all these Revenants you encounter on your journey. Each of these memory segments are really interesting story-wise, but the presentation makes me want to fucking kill myself. You have to walk your slowest place through a linear corridor and watch a minute-long still image, walk some more, and do this like 4 times. I don't know why they didn't just make it into a cutscene or even like a visual novel type of thing I can enjoy at my own pace, because the pace they set makes me not want to do them, and there's a lot of them. There are certain bosses that you completely change if you purify all their memories before fighting them, and sitting through these segments are torture. Speaking of torture, the cutscenes every 20 minutes of gameplay is also torture. It makes me feel like they plan to make this gameplay completely different from what we got in the final product, but I'll elaborate on that later. The gameplay is like a traditional Souls game, but with an added Jrpg flair. At all times, you have a partner with you that you can choose to have, and they have their own set of abilities. Though this is like easy mode, because if you die, they can revive you, as well as having 2 people at all times makes fighting the enemy like piss poor easy. You can tell the game is balanced to have 2 people playing, because there's a fuck ton of enemies at all times. You commonly catch yourself fighting 4 or 5 mobs at one time, and it isn't even like they're hard. There's only one mob I genuinely had to fight, block, and guard that wasn't a boss. Most enemies are brain dead, and once you learn their gimmick, it never switches up, so it's so easy to counter them. Good news is you can turn this off and play by yourself if you're a masochist or something. When you start to choose between 3 classes when you start out: Warrior, Ranger, and Mage essentially. This is where it gets interesting, because you have certain active and passive abilities that you can slot in and switch classes at any time. There's like 20 classes I want to say off the top of my head, and once you choose these certain abilities, you can master them and make them available to use no matter what class you have, allowing you to build some crazy ass combinations of abilities from all the different classes. It's the gem of the game that I really enjoy, but I feel like would have been better utilized in another type of gameplay that I think they should have done. The gear is more about upgrading what you have and less about finding interesting weapons. I really used the same weapon and armor throughout the most of the game, and only really switched up to see what was different. Though the added drain and parry attacks from your armor is a neat feature. Bosses are the highlight of Code Vein. Each and every single boss has an amazing design, amazing story, but gameplay wise, in the beginning, it's really hard, and I feel like they were truly Souls-like bosses. But then once I learned the game and the mechanics, they became like fucking easy, like too easy. There were many bosses I beat in no time flat and didn't even get to understand or see their true potential or all their movesets. The final boss was the best fight in the entire game, and you even have an epic moment with your character and everything. But of course, this is a JRPG, always expect a second form, and that second form is the fucking worst boss in the game, which I think would have worked better. And you know what? Let me just say it. Code Vein should have not been a Souls game. The cutscene shows the entire group, and only not even just your companion, it shows the entire group. Half the bosses were built to fit the system, and the other half are actually built to not be in a Souls game. The class system, the skills, the way the world looks, it would all fit better in a turn-based RPG or an action RPG like Tales or something. They keep preaching the basic ass friendship is magic bullshit that most JRPGs do, but I don't really feel attached to any of these people because I do most of the work. They're just glorified revive machines, and after playing through this entire game, I feel as though I would have enjoyed the cast, I would have actually cared about the memory segments and the bosses a lot more if it was in another combat system. The idle chat in between travel like the Tales games do, or the synergy and skills in combat like Persona would have helped wonders in making everything all fit together. But as it stands, it feels like two separate games that got combined at the halfway point, and they said, fuck it, just do it, bro. So let's actually, talk about some stuff I do like about this game. The character creator is a true highlight of this game. Character creator has evolved been getting a lot more robust as of late, and I thought, can't nothing top what we got now, and Code Vein did just that. This isn't what you get in terms of face and body structure. You're gonna always look like a character from Angel Beats. Though the accessory one of these days I'm gonna go to a vocal coach. The accessory editor is a game changer. The game looks stunning in terms of character and arena design for bosses, but regular mobs are really generic, almost dead looking characters for you to kill. It's the basic Souls enemies, undead shit, big knight shit, big fat guy with a hammer shit. They're all here. The world is so boring. You got generic destroyed ruins, generic snowy mountains, generic just deserts, generic military bases, generic castles, generic fireplaces. Oh yeah, and Orlando. Though areas are really short without much branching passes, they all mostly lead to either a shortcut back to the main route or to the boss. There isn't much once you learn the general way areas go. They don't really intersect with older areas, so you can't accidentally walk into a different area and do things out of order. Everything flows in a straight line. Impact sounds are very trivial, and they all have this sound, this like squishy, like it's weird. It's not a good sound, honestly, once you play and you're slicing like 8 things at once like a Dynasty Warriors game. There isn't really that oomph that comes when you hit it. Weapons all have this weird wiry aesthetic to them that doesn't really flow with like everything else that you see. It just looks weird. Overall, Code Vein isn't a bad game. Nonetheless, like, if you enjoy Souls games and you enjoy anime, then you've probably already played this game. Me personally, I feel as though this game would have probably been one of my top 5 of the year if it wasn't a Souls game. The story isn't bad, the world and gameplay isn't bad, but in a different type of RPG like Altair series, then it would have been a lot different in terms of overall experience. If you enjoy Souls games, you'll probably like it. You'll like it. If you enjoy anime games but you don't like Soul games, you'll probably like it. You'll probably like it because it's not punishing. So, I mean, who am I really catering this game to? Is that, like, no matter what, you're probably gonna like this game. Because it's not like okay, let me rephrase this. I don't not like this game. Like, I like it. But I just feel like it's a missed opportunity, and I feel like there's a lot more that it could have been expressed for, but it just fell off the mark for me. And I feel like this is gonna be a very controversial, and a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but it's so boring. It's really boring. It's such a boring game. I play this game and I feel so brain dead. The story, like all the twists and turns, like they're so predictable. Like the gameplay, like even the little, oh look, it's a little hole. It's so predictable. Like everything is so predictable. You're going to see something and be like, oh hey, that big fat guy, he's probably going to do a body jump or he's going to do a giant hammer swing. And look what he does. Exactly that. Oh, that guy over there, he's sitting there waiting for you. He's gonna walk up as soon as you walk past this little hole into this little fake arena that they made for you guys to fight and roll around in. Like, Sidebar. I know this episode is a little bit short, but I just have to keep it short because I don't want to really go into detail about the story with this game because there's no point, honestly. Like, Yeah, most people don't. I mean, it's the gameplay that you care about when you're thinking about picking up this game, or if you're watching this video and stuff like that. You're here because you want to see if the game looks cool enough for you to play it, if it looks anime enough for you to play it, if it looks Souls enough for you to play it. So hope that works for you. And this quick little general synopsis. I mean, I could elaborate on like my point of how it could work better in another game, but I feel like that'll be redundant and pointless and kind of stupid, honestly. So I'm just gonna leave it at a point like this. If you are new to the channel, like always, like, subscribe, call me a bunch of hateful names if you don't like this video, or if you love this video, call me a bunch of beautiful names. And like always, if you think there's a game that you want me to play, my shit is in the description for you to look at and recommend me something else to play. Like always, this is Sondi, back with another episode of The Collection. Peace.